Hey, I'm Birdman.
I'm Bruce.
Time to get on target at
The Hub. Well, we're back.
So first of all, I have to say, I'm sorry, Bruce. I forgot to tell you I wasn't gonna be
I'm
here
glad
last
you remembered you forgot because but the bad thing was this was last week. I usually come in around 8 o'clock so we can do this before the store opens.
So I'm walking down the mall in DC and I get this text going, hey, I'm locked out of those things, so I can't get in right now. And I'm like, oh, well.
At 8 o'clock in the morning, he's in Washington.
It's 10 o'clock.
And I drove 150 miles to get here. Well, maybe I only drove 3. Anyway, long story. But before we start this, we're going to do a shoot today. I wanted to put a shout out to my grandson. His name is Gavin Owen, and he lives down in Mesa. He just made Eagle Scout.
Awesome.
At 13. Wow, fantastic job. We're all proud of you.
Yes,
that's cool. So thank you, Gavin, for that. It made us feel good.
That still takes some actual work to get.
Yes, it does.
It's still the same process. It's not, they haven't like shortened it.
Oh no, it's a fantastic process.
iPadded it or something.
In fact, he wanted to get that done right away before they do any changes.
Good.
So he finalized it. He had to wait for his birthday, and he had to wait for some other things to go through. So
cool.
He's there.
Awesome.
That's cool. So today we're going to do
the governor.
The governor. Now we haven't done a governor. We don't want to say that because anyway, we haven't done a governor. Before. And what it is, I'll explain to people that don't know what it is, and they probably don't, or some of them might not. It's a handgun. It looks a little strange if you look at it. The cylinder is extremely long compared to the barrel. I think the cylinder and the barrel are almost, I think the cylinder may be longer than a barrel. But it's designed to shoot 410 shot shells up to 2.5 inch.
Nice.
And how this differentiates between this and the Taurus will shoot, they have one like this called the Judge.
Right.
And the joke is, don't governors appoint judges? I don't know. That's another joke. But anyway, they're both nice. They're both good guns. Judges are a lot better than they did when they first started out. Governor's a 6-shot, though, not a 5. Ooh. And it's got one other advantage. Well, it doesn't have an advantage on cost because it's more expensive. But its other advantage is it would actually shoot 3 different calibers. It'll shoot, of course, 410, 2.5 inch. It'll shoot 45 Colt, which is a rim cartridge for revolvers, but it'll also shoot 45 ACP. And if we look at it here, you'll see I have these little moon clips there. They actually, in the box, they come with
it's not a full deal,
a 2-pack moon clip, which are kind of hard to load, as you'll see in the video. And then they come with a 6-pack. So the advantage, and you have to have a rim or something like this to keep it from falling down the cylinder, because there's no rim on a 45 ACP, since it was designed to go into a magazine and stack perfectly.
Right.
And rims don't do very good at magazines.
No, they don't want it. You don't want a rim in a magazine.
The advantage this has is now we can shoot this at what, $14.95 for a box of 50.
Right.
As compared to $39 a box of 50 on 45 Colt. Okay, and just for Steve, I'll mention that some people actually call that long Colt, and Steve gets all upset. But actually, it's 45 Colt, but it's the longer version of that.
It's a long Colt.
Yeah.
Long Colt, long Colt, long Colt.
Don't say that, he's going to get all upset. Okay, so he's a purist when it comes to that. There's only a 45 Colt to him, and then an ACP. So to shoot 3 calibers, which is kind of neat. Let's do the shoot real quick.
Okay, take a look at this.
Okay, so one thing I noticed off the bat.
And yeah, he does always say okay when we come back from the shot. It's funny. Somebody was commenting about that the other day.
Oh, they all say okay?
Yes.
Okay, it's not okay. No, I did notice if you look at this gun, it is a little bit front heavy. I noticed that when I dropped one of the shots down considerably. The other ones, when I first started, were fine. It moved around a lot. Now, these are, of course, plus P45s we shoot. They're a little bit hotter than a normal 45.
Were these also the poly composite ones?
Yes.
Because I noticed that those things seem to, they're training ammo, and you look at the way the target looks, they tumble. So I would never use them.
No, not for, but we have to use them right now just to do the testing.
Right.
And one of the reasons I think, well, we started to see a little keyholing that wasn't stabilizing it perfectly.
Right.
I think some has to do with the fact of how long the cylinder is from when the bullet jumps before it hits the forcing cone. So if I just put this there, that's how far it had to go before it hit a barrel. Now, this is of course, you know that the cylinder is a larger bore than the barrel.
Right.
So it's moving down there, and then it's loose, kind of loose. It's still tight, fairly tight. And when it hits that, some people think it unstabilizes it. That's why people say that if you have a 357
Right.
and you shoot 38s, they're a little bit shorter,
Right.
they're usually not quite as accurate. Now, I'm not that good of a shot to see all that, but they say it is. I can believe it. So maybe it keyholed because it was lead-free stuff, or it's just too light going too fast in this barrel, which is 2.5 inches.
Yeah, people will conceptually argue everything.
They will. I mean, everything. And we don't, as you know, we don't really do a whole lot of features.
Right.
People can read features. We do benefits. I'll give you a quick benefits why I like this gun in a way. First off, it's an end frame gun, which means it's a stretched end frame, which is like a 44 mag frame in a theory. But then it's got like a KL grip size.
Okay.
So they made that smaller. So you can kind of feel it feels a little bit front heavy. When you have it, we'll just double check. It just seems funny having that cylinder so big. But if you feel a little bit, there's a little bit of front heaviness to it.
It is. Yeah.
Now, since it's a KL frame, there's probably 50 different grips you could get for that.
Right.
If you wanted to get a wider grip. That's a long cylinder.
It is.
Okay, so what's neat about this gun is, of course, they make two versions. This one is the blackened version with their type of PVC something coating, PVD or something like that. I think it's called PVD. Anyway, it's a stainless cylinder. And then the rest of it is scandium aluminum, and then you notice there's a couple pins in here, and I think on the scandium guns, those pins are on the other side. There's no pins, right here.
2 pins, yeah.
Yeah, those are usually titanium.
Let me show you this.
So what the scandium is they found out that if you take an aluminum alloy and mix a very small amount of scandium in it,
Right.
it changes the structure and makes it strong like steel. Okay.
Strong like steel.
Yes, but still fairly light. Which means, what does light mean? A little easier to carry, a little bit more difficult to control when you get used to it. I guess you could get used to it pretty easy. So it's got a real strong frame, aluminum, scandium, they call it a scandium frame, a stainless inserted, and it's locked. I think the cylinders on this are locked a couple of different ways. There's a ball detent right here, and then it's still got their one. I think there's a total of 2 or 3 different ways that's locked in, but it's pretty solid. Now, we couldn't shoot 410s and stuff because they're not lead-free. I couldn't show you that. But there's some recoil on like those defense loads with the plates and stuff in them. So, fantastic gun. It depends on what you want it for. If you want to shoot buckshot or those defense rounds in it, and if you don't do a whole lot of shooting and you want it for camping, and if you're not used to shooting fast, possibly it's got some major advantages.
How did it score?
Let's go to the score. Category personal defense. Experience level. Revolvers, we go 1 to 5. I'm going to call this a 5. It does have a little recoil. So it's up to 5, which is the higher end of the revolvers as far as experience level. Very simple to learn. It still loads like any revolver. You got to get into the grip.
So 1 is the hardest and 5 is the easiest?
No, 1 is the easiest, 5 is the hardest. Then we go on the semi-automatics, we go 5 to 10.
Right.
10 being some kind of a 1911 with a very difficult take-apart sequence.
Right.
But this, I think the big thing for me is my hand is big. My hands go all the way around that. If you feel your hand, goes all the way around that grip. I would like that a little bigger. Maybe I could hold it better. You always like to make excuses.
You do.
I do.
You do. Yeah.
I got to have a reason. Okay. Okay. Standard met, of course, is a 10. Shootability, it's a 10. It's a revolver. Power factor, we'll give it a 9 because you can go all the way up those personal defense rounds. I think they're close to 300 grain on the 410, and that'd be a high power level. And then also you shoot 45 Colt. Ammo cost, we'll give it like an 8 minus.
Right.
Only because I think the 45s now are $14.95. That's cheap. That's pretty cheap, but not as inexpensive as 9.
Okay.
So that's where you get set. It's selling. This is the key. It retail new for $749. Okay, that's us, and we sell them a little bit less than retail. This one's selling for $5.99 as used. It's like brand new in the box with the moon clips. I mean, this is quite a gun.
Wow.
So we're going to give you the 10 value for that selling. Function reliability. Of course, we only try a few rounds. They work fine.
Intuitive, it's a revolver for crying out loud.
And it's intuitive safe handling. It's a revolver.
Right.
Most of them get a 10. Carry options is an 8 only because it needs to have a holster. It's not a pocket gun, especially not with a hammer and stuff on it like that. So that gets an 8 for that. So we'll give it a 9 for resale value. So it's a score of 93, our old way of doing the used guns. But then we give it a value, and I put 100% with a couple asterisks. It's a specialty gun, like some of the guns that you like,
right?
You possibly carry sometimes, and some of the guns that I like, some of the 8-shot things,
right?
They're specialty. It doesn't mean that they're not worth it. It just means that it's for a special person.
Right.
I think this is.
Did you call me special?
Huh?
Sorry, no.
You're not. Well, you are special.
I'm definitely special.
Yeah. So There's a couple asterisks next to the 100%. I put a little minus there. To me, it would be a fantastic gun. I don't really find how it's going to fit and how I do my gun things, but of course, I don't think I'm normal. I'm
not sure what normal is, but everybody's got.
Everybody's got their own thing.
I think it's unique.
I'd like to put it this way: if I had to go on the line, it's probably 150 to $175 more than a judge.
Right.
I think it's got more value than a judge, only because I think it will hold its value. Like if you were to buy this at $599, I mean that's a fantastic gun, and it's only going to be another $50 more or something. Depends what judge you buy.
Right.
So anyway, that's a score. We'll give it a 93. The first time I think we've ever done anything like with one of these. Do you ever remember us doing one of these?
I thought we talked about it a long time, but it might have actually been the judge, so I don't know. So where we are.
Well, we may have. Oh, a used judge, but I don't know if we shot one. I don't
remember.
Good.
Lots and lots and lots and lots of guns. You could go back through those, all through the videos, and then, of course, you can go into the podcast and listen to, we had almost 200 episodes before that. So,
wow.
Lots of fun stuff.
It is fun. And it is fun. We'll keep finding new things. It's harder to find the new things we haven't done before. So some of the used guns we may have done before.
So somebody's asking, and actually my dad actually asked about the P365 versus there's a new one that's small that has a single name that I can't remember right now.
Made by Ruger? Security 9?
No, not Security 9.
Is it made by Ruger?
No, it's not made by Ruger.
Okay, so it's not a Hellcat.
A Hellcat.
Okay, well, Hellcats are, okay.
We haven't gotten one.
And you said, what was the other?
The P365 versus a Hellcat. So we
probably need to do that because we need to do that. We probably put a couple other ones in there too that compete with that.
Yeah.
Because we remember we did that before with the 43.
And we need to revisit the 43 and the P365 just because now the P365 has been out long enough, has a reliability
issue.
It does not have a reliability.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have one. It's got a track record.
It's got a track record, yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Cool.
Well, we can do that. We'll try to come up with a good idea.
Make sure you're checking out thehubaz.com, both the Facebook page, Instagram, all of that. Both stores are rock and roll. We're getting ready to get into spring and summer. Yeah. And some new announcements coming here in Lakeside, so just watch for that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Birdman.
And I'm Bruce, and be safe. Thank people.
Hey, so thank you for watching.
Thank you very much.
Doing.
If you got any ideas of what you want us to do, I mean, I know we're a little bit laid back here. If you want to do anything special, just let us know.
Yeah, a lot of comments. Some people are actually, the alien gear stuff got a lot of, the reviews I've done.
Yeah.
We're actually getting a lot of traction lately. A lot of people asking about holsters.
And that's because a lot of people are carrying concealed.
And the new urban carry stuff, I'll be reviewing the G3 stuff. I got a couple of those, just so you know, because I got about 4 questions about that in a row. So
cool. We got it.
Cool.
So we'll see you. Thank you.